Hi, everyone. My name is Angelica, and today we are interviewing the awesome, the very cool, the dressed very brightly and sunnily, which is fitting for his name, Sunny Atwal.
Hello, everybody. I am Sunny Atwal. It's not my real voice, but I felt like doing it.
It was cool. It was a mood changer, and I think we needed that.
Yeah, I'm known for changing moods.
It works.
Don't want to wear a mood ring around me because I'm gonna change the color, and it will never be the accurate color to mood ratio.
So you'll never know. How are you feeling today?
Are you happy, excited, or nervous?
It keeps changing from green to yellow to blue to black. Oh no.
I just took your soul. That's where everyone's souls lie. Every time I talk to someone, their soul gets absorbed and makes my shirt brighter.
Thank you for joining us today with Tacobout It Tuesday. So can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, I would love to. Okay, so my name's Sunny Atwal. I'm originally from Indianapolis, Indiana. I used to do stand-up comedy there, did a lot of public speaking stuff, and eventually I decided that I wanted to move to New York City. And in New York City is where I found the Pit, which is the People's Improv Theater. And that's where my community really was and is. That's where I found a lot of my really good friends. And man, I just loved it there. We used to do improv jams all the time. My day-to-day life revolved around going to improv jams. So I have about a year and a half, 2 years improv experience. I have theater experience and acting experience. I'm a performer. I like doing it all. I just like being in front of stage and hogging all the attention.
Yeah, I understand that, definitely. And how has life been now that you don't have a stage that you can totally hog up? Now that we're in these virtual bubbles?
Yeah, it's weird. It's honestly really weird. It's cool at the same time. It really didn't hit me until the first few weeks were kind of rough for sure, because I was like, I don't even have a reason to wake up in the morning. And that's when Socially Distant Improv came around. The founder, Dana Schulman, is a Pit instructor, and she I posted on Facebook because I was so salty. I went to my grocery store and all the bananas were sold out, and there was a plethora of pineapples. And luckily for me, I know how to cut a pineapple. So I made this Facebook status. I was like, yo, for all the people that bought all these bananas, don't forget to get pineapples. Show love to all fruits.
Of course. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Full diet.
Full diet. And then Dana Schulman's like, oh my God, I just bought a pineapple. Why don't you show me how to do it on this thing I just made called Socially Distant Improv? And so from there, one of my best friends, Mike Warner, and I started doing Two-Prov virtually that we do still to this day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. It's about a 15-20-minute show, quickest hour of your life. And now we're on episode 155.
Nice.
Yeah, it's none of it's really the same. It's still really difficult. I find myself definitely missing the jams and the performing on stage. But New York is really making it doable. There's a lot of open mics that you can go to at parks that are really cool. And the Socially Distant Improv stuff has really, really helped out. And I'm also a teacher with the People's Improv Theater, I love, which I do this class called Joy of Improv.
Okay.
And
what is it?
Well, Joy of Improv is a level 0 class. It's really just for people that are kind of nervous about doing improv.
Okay.
And so it's just a bunch of games that you get to play with these really cool people that are nervous about doing improv or just trying to learn and getting some experience. And it's an hour-long class. It's really fun, and I love that class. I do it every Monday, and it's just it gets me out of my funk.
Improv does that, and it's so sad to see so many people nervous to get started. So it's so cool that there's a class specifically for that, because it does make you feel so much better, especially now where we're not interacting with a lot of people, and to have that outlet somewhere for an hour where it's nice.
Thank you. I have always wanted to get involved and make a difference in people's life by making stuff up. It's just so much fun. I really like it. Like one of my students, I really like this title. She said, "You are an amazing facilitator of joy."
That's so cool.
Right. And I was like, I really like that title, the facilitator of joy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's just fun because it's at some point you with these people online, you just get to like these really cool moments where people are just a little bit more free than they have been in a while, and people are utilizing their imagination and everyone's laughing. And that's just the moment that you want to be in forever.
And not just with the classes, but with what you've done on socially distant improv, that when Alexandra and I saw that, we were just so excited because, you know, we're all feeling it. We all feel separated from each other, and we are socially distant, not just physically, but we kind of feel the strain of not being able to perform or talk to anyone. But you guys were able to turn that and remix it into something that connected people and that connected each other, and was a live performance. I think you guys were one of the first to do something live on Instagram story, Instagram live. I don't know what the technical terms of things, but you guys were one of the first, and it was cool. We had a schedule and something to tune into and experience improv with. It's cool.
Got to give props to Dana Schulman, Kimberly Alou, and Tom Calness. They really did a great job with that because, I mean, like I said, I really didn't have a reason to wake up at the beginning of quarantine. It's like just because, you know, everybody was like closing down stuff, and all the theaters were closed, stand-up was closed. And so, you know, when they gave me an opportunity to wake up and get a consistent schedule, it was really, really cool. And you can tell that they were one of the first ones to do it because of the name, Socially Distant Improv. And it's really phenomenal to me, like just how fast the online improv stuff caught on. Because even after Dana, Kim, and Tom created this amazing platform, I was getting invites to do online jams from other places.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I love the videos that you make with This Is Improv. I watch those. And now there's a whole theater that's been online. Pitt's doing online shows. It's just really cool how quickly everyone picked up on this online platform. And it's something that's going to be here to stay, I think.
I think so too. And I think it's so, you know, such a there's a word and it's eluding me. It's so improv-y, let's say, that we're able to do this, that we're able to pivot so seamlessly into this new way of life. And that's what we're trained to do. We're trained to take these weird situations and make them into something cool and fun. And maybe it's not preferable, but it's something that we can thrive in. And I think it's really cool that we're, you know, all a part of that world and part of that thing that's making theater breathe.
Yeah, and not to mention like all the connections that people have made. I wouldn't have known you if it wasn't for this online stuff. I mean, I've met some really cool people, like even this guy named Roy Rod I've met through online improv, and he's from Texas, but I feel like I know him, like I've met him in person. It feels like that. It's so cool. Like it's bringing the world closer together.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, and we need it. It's awesome. And Sonny, where did you get started? How did you begin your improv journey?
So I used to, so when I did theater back home in Indiana, we used to play improv games. Even when I did speech and debate in high school, there was improv stuff. And it's so weird how sometimes you always know what you wanted to do, but you don't really realize it. And I always loved improv stuff. I loved it. I love making stuff on the spot. So when I came to New York, my roommate and I, we actually lived in Indiana together. We both decided to come to New York together. And he was like, I want to take an improv class. I was like, dude, I'll take one with you.
That's awesome.
So we started at the Pit, the People's Improv Theater. And instantly I was like, this is cool. But one of my coworkers had already been doing improv. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go do this improv jam. What's a jam? Which is where just, you know, random people come together and just do improv scenes. And so I hadn't really had any improv experience behind my belt, but I went up and I did some improv, and then I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. And I laughed so hard. And I remember that same exact day going to an improv show that I paid money to see, and I didn't even laugh that much. And I was like, I can't believe that I can spend less money going to these jams, laugh way harder, and get a chance to perform. And so I started going to 5-6 jams a week. My entire day-to-day life was scheduled around getting to these improv jams. And so, yeah. And so for pretty much one whole year straight, I went through the Pitt's improv program and did like 4 or 5 jams every single week.
That's something that's really cool about improv too. It's like, you know, there's that whole culture of open mic, and, you know, like, let's get up there, let's do poetry, let's do some acoustic guitar, let's sing. But improv definitely has like its own little culture of that, where you're invited to add on to the group. Like, it's very ensemble driven, and because it's ensemble driven, you can bring in all these different personalities, and you don't necessarily need to be, you know, a mainstream troupe. You don't need to be a mainstream anything, because it's supposed to be the story of people and like what's going on in the world, and your story and her story and their story, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, because I've done the open mic thing. That's how I started off in comedy. I was doing stand-up because that's what I thought I had to do to make it through the next stage. I love doing stand-up comedy. It is really, really fun, you know, being up there by yourself and telling jokes. I really do like that. But there was just something about improv jams that just really connected with. It was just people, like in open mics, people kind of will do their sets and leave sometimes. There isn't as much of a supportive scene as there is in improv, because in improv, it's all about supporting your partner and making it work. And I really resonated with that. And I really resonated with just making stuff up on the spot. Like, I don't have to come prepared with different material every single day, or the same material, which can get dull after performing it for a while. So for improv, it really shook things up in my life, and it gave me an opportunity to just go out, have fun, and play with my imagination.
And do you have any improv games, any structures of long form, any exercises that you do that kind of like is above the rest, that gets you really pumped to go out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's just all of it, really. Yeah, right. It's so hard. What I will say I love doing probably the most, and this goes back to when I was doing it in Indiana, just like when theater games and stuff, freeze tag.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I really like freeze tag. Yeah, or freeze, whatever anyone calls it, right? Because it's so cool to see where people's imagination and mind takes them. And then I also like the emotional onion. Have you played that one?
I don't think so. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's like one person starts off, they're like a bus driver or something, and then they have a specific emotion, and then the next person comes on the bus and they have a different emotion, and you have to pick up every single emotion, and then you have to go backwards too when people are leaving. And then online, I do these two on my first day of Joy of Improv classes. I really like them. The news report game, where you're introducing people about you know, like, everything's going insane in the mall today. PlayStation 5s are flying off the shelf. Our new expert on PlayStation 5s, Angelica. And then, you know, it just goes person to person. And rumor has it's really fun to do online. It's where, you know, where
which one? Yeah, which one is rumor has it?
Rumor has it is the one where it's like, if I said the man walked out, did you hear that the man walked outside of the building? And you'd be like, you don't say. And then to the other person, say the man walked out the side of the building, and you add whatever afterwards.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something cool too, especially as the world has been coming together. There are so many names and so many different ways to play these games. And I don't know about you, but I used to be insecure about you know, going, or like someone would move down and they'd be from New York, or they'd be from Boston, and they would talk about these games, and I'm like, I don't know any of these games, none of these sound familiar. And so it's like, okay, then you start talking and some of the games are familiar and then some of the games are like totally different, and it's because in each region, everyone, like, there are different ways to play the game, there are different names for the game, and then there are just different games based off of, you know, what that group has developed slowly and created for whatever stage they're with or whatever demographic they're performing for. It's so cool.
It is, especially because improv is so orally based too.
Yes.
Tradition wise, which is so unique in today's day and age, where this art form is being passed down via the people who kind of created it. Like, I mean, it's insane to me to think that we're only about a generation or two away from the place where they created long form improv.
That's so true.
Like, the founder of the pit, Ali Farahnakian, he learned directly from Del Close, which is
okay.
Yeah, for people who don't know, like, Del Close is kind of where the long form improv scene all started, you know, and him, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, these really great people, they all learned in Chicago and then they bring it to New York, and you know, it's just been spreading like wildfire ever since. It's insane to think that we're really only in like the third or fourth generation of it. Like,
it is, yeah, it is crazy. And yeah, I don't know if you read this book, but I picked up Improv Nation, and I'm not done with it, but just looking at the beginning of the history, I'm not even on, like, if you go to page 10, you're still in the 50s. And it's like, I know people alive from the 50s, and they've touched this part of our history of what we do. And it's so cool. And we're still inventing what's going on. Like, later in the future, 100 years from now, we're still creating what's being known as improv today. We are part of the classical history of this oral tradition.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the fact that even online improv is now, we're the online improv pioneers.
Yeah, we are.
Right? I mean, it's kind of weird to think about in that kind of a sense, but this generation that's doing improv online, we're the first ones to be doing it. We're the first ones to bring this whole art form to the online world and modify it, because I think that's what's really cool about improv, is that it's always changing. It's always changing.
Yeah. And something that you have a background in, which I find really interesting as far as improv goes in general, and the oral tradition, and just the way long form is structured as well, is you have a background in English. So, and I love it personally, because I do as well, a little bit. But you see how everything comes together, and how do you think that that's influenced your play?
That's my favorite part, is I like patterns, which I didn't realize when I was first doing improv, is I really hardcore pay attention to patterns. And you know, the thing that all my teachers were phenomenal. I mean, every single one of them taught me so much. And the one lesson that was stressed probably the most was the best improvisers are the best listeners. And so I'm always off stage listening. And I used to be nervous about going in and being the first person to initiate a scene. And now I choose to stay back, because I like to see what's kind of being set up and developed.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know a lot of improvisers avoid plot and stuff, but because I have my English background, pay attention to plot, pay attention to what characters haven't been developed quite yet, but are associated with characters. Like, maybe we've seen a father and a son, but my mind is thinking, where's the mother at? Mm-hmm. Right? Well, I'm thinking about those kinds of elements. And I'm always thinking about how can I bring this story full circle?
Mm-hmm.
How can I bring it all together? How can I wrap it up with a connection from the beginning? So that's where I think a lot of my English background comes in, because I really like stories. I'm a big storyteller, and I really pay attention to how the story is evolving as we're telling it.
That's awesome. That's a great skill to have. And that makes you the foundation of the group, keeping everyone on solid ground.
I don't know if I say that about myself. I would say I'm more of a neurotic. I'm neurotic, but no. I think I've definitely controlled my improv a little bit more. But where my favorite scenes are just when I make myself laugh, or when someone makes me laugh. I love breaking in the middle of a scene. I don't Jimmy Fallon it up, but if I can get myself to that point, that's a good scene.
And how do you think that improv has affected your day-to-day life, if at all?
Oh, I absolutely changed a lot of my day-to-day. Well, for starters, I'm a teacher now, so that's amazing. I love doing that. It changed my day-to-day on that aspect. But more so than anything, I think I used to be a person that maybe heard your idea, but it didn't necessarily. I think I used to just hear ideas and then throw out my own idea that was kind of connected, but not in any sort of real way. But now when I listen to someone's idea, I'm focusing on how I can yes and that idea. How can I build on top of their idea?
Mm-hmm.
How can I pull in something to help their idea grow instead of just putting my idea out there?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely pay attention to, like, when you're improvising and you're just saying the first thought that comes to mind, it's really cool to see how your subconscious throws out ideas. I really pay attention to that kind of stuff now, especially because I'll have like a conversation with someone about a podcast or something that they were listening to, and next thing you know, when I'm improvising, whatever that topic was just gets thrown out of my head, and I'm like, that is so cool.
Yeah, there's always a little sub being listening into what's being said in real life. Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, and
it's a cool way of thinking about it too.
Yeah, improv definitely taught me how to like remove that veil for a second, a veil of thought, and just kind of connect with the subconscious and go. I think it definitely helped me, even like, because I try to be a spiritual person, and definitely improv's helped me a little bit more with that, connect with that side a little bit more. I also just really, it just makes me happy. You know, it's just a chance to forget what things are while they're happening. You know, and it's just like while actors, they escape into their role. I just kind of escape in this really wacky world of imagination. It reminds me of when I was a kid and I was just playing around.
Yeah, and that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to put you into the moment and just have fun, let loose, play. It's cool. It's something we lost and we are lucky enough to rediscover.
Yeah. Definitely. I have an addictive personality, and I think when I found improv, I mean, that's why I just went full throttle, because I was like, whoa, I like how this makes me feel.
Oh, that's cool. It's cool. It's dangerous. Get lost. You can get lost in the game. You gotta pull yourself out.
Come on, just one more improv scene. I just need it.
You gotta go to sleep. You gotta go to sleep, Sonny. You can't improv if you can't sleep.
One more and I'm done. I'm done forever. Just give me one more improv set.
You're laying down, Sonny. You're laying down. No one can see you in the audience, Sonny. Talking about your addiction to improv and performance, do you have anything in the works? Do you have any projects going on?
Well, I mean, every single morning on Socially Distant Improv, I do that Sonny and Mike hour at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. Come check that out. It's pretty fun. I really like doing that.
It is. Take it from me. It is.
And then a really respected and awesome improv teacher of my former improv teacher and a current Pitt improv teacher, him and I are doing a free seminar on January 23rd where we talk about the classes and stuff that we've done in the past. He's phenomenal.
And you said it was free?
Yeah, it's a free seminar.
It's free.
Yeah, on January 23rd. It's definitely worth checking out if you have the time. I host Improv Jams online. It's about an hour. We play some short form games, play some long form games, hour and 15 minutes. Those are really fun. You can check those out on the Pitts website. I teach classes there. I'm doing my very first level 1 improv class it starts December 16th. And I produce a show. It's an all South Asian cast improv show. It's called The Distinguished Desis. We don't have a show lined up for 2020, but we will come back 2021.
Very cool.
And pay attention to that. It will be streamed through the Pit.
Through the Pit. Okay, so to keep updated, the Pit is the place to go.
Yeah, it's my home. It's a community, a wonderful community.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Sunny. I have one more question before we wrap up for today, and it's very important. It's probably the most important question we're asking here today. So, what is one thing about you that no one could tell just by looking at you?
I'd say this is a hard question. I think it's probably that I really like the cold.
What?
Yeah.
You're talking to a Floridian. What?
Yeah, I like winter. I don't think people know yet, especially when I wear bright stuff like this.
Yeah.
I think I have a real summer personality. My name is Sunny.
Yeah.
But I actually like the cold. I really dig the cold. I mean, for so many reasons. It's just awesome. You can layer up. It's fashionable, easier to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think people ever get that. I exude such a summer personality. I'm a winter guy.
So would you run out in like what you're wearing right now? Would you run out into the street, and if you found a clean pile of snow, would you lay on it?
I'm not that adventurous. No, I'm not that adventurous. But I will say I do complain during the fall and winter about it being too hot sometimes. Like just very recently, I was just getting so frustrated. I kept going back and forth between like 50 and 60, and I would have to take off my layers because I'm like, this is just ridiculous. I don't wear, like, I see some people wearing winter jackets in fall, and I can't do it. I won't wear a jacket until I absolutely have to.
Yeah, you shouldn't come to Florida. No.
I love all the seasons, but I'm a winter guy.
Yeah, 50, we're dead. We stay inside. And 60, that's when our ski jackets come out. And yeah, cool. Okay, so you're a cold guy. Nice.
I'm a cool cat.
That is a super surprise.
Well, I'm glad that it lived up to the question. I wanted to make sure.
My mind was blown. Sunny, thank you for blowing my mind with a cold. And thank you for joining us today on Talk About It Tuesday. It's been so much fun talking to you, as always. And thank you, everyone, for watching today. This is Improv. And while you're here, please make sure to take a look at the links below. We have some things going on in the area and ways that you can help out with those things. If you have anything that you'd like to include to the list, make sure to email us at info@thisisimprov.com to have it added. We also have a podcast called This Is Legends of Yesterday. If you want to hear more of my voice and more of my sister Alexandra's voice on your week commute to wherever you go, or as you're showering or taking a bubble bath, it's also quite nice. Yes. And make sure to also check out Sunny's classes and keep an eye out for his performance coming up in 2021. I am super excited. Thank you so much, Sunny. Bye.